Guys, exciting news coming out this December. A new report saying that inflation rose 3.4%. Very exciting, because the speculation and everyone was going to say was going to be around 3.2%. And see, me as somebody who likes to consume lots of media, I see tons of people on the left saying that Joe Biden's doing a hell of a job. He's doing a great job. This whole inflation thing is a right-wing extremist idea, and it's not real. Okay, if you look at the actual stats, if you look at the metrics, I'll show you that Joe Biden's economy is rising. Look at all the jobs we added. Yes, it's a lot of government jobs, but and people are losing jobs. Like, I'm not saying that the economy is doing so great. Okay? People, the biggest problem Democrats have in this upcoming election cycle is that people can feel the inflation. You and I feel it. You and I see it. You and I see how much less we're able to buy right now as inflation continues to rise. And the Fed is deciding, should we cut rates so that Joe Biden does a good job or so that we look okay? It's like people are mad at us because we're raising rates and they just need to let it go. And allow inflation to go completely rampant. There are people now, I've seen the switch online where I'm listening to other economists and they are saying, you know what, this inflation is here to stay. We should all just strap in and understand that, yes, we're going to be making a little bit more, but we're going to spend a little more, and it's going to even itself out eventually. I do not trust any of these people. I don't trust any of these people. You should be very aware where your money goes. You should be very aware where you invest, especially as inflation continues to rise. Again, it went up 3.4% in December early this year. They were expecting 3.2%. Okay, and I constantly am on the left saying that Joe Biden's economy is actually great. I'm not seeing that as well. I have a ton of friends. I have a couple that have lost their jobs, and I have a couple that are trying to find jobs, and they are really qualified individuals and in an awesome market, and they cannot find jobs. They're not hiring right now. A lot of companies are pausing their hiring, and a lot of companies are trimming the fat. Now, the Google cuts, it could be a lot of AI stuff because, when you create something that keeps you from having to do a job and you can just press a button and it allows you to work for you, you're going to lose your job eventually. That is a huge thing. It's kind of like if you keep raising minimum wage, eventually McDonald's will say, I'm just going to make robots and get rid of everyone. And then we'll just have a bunch of poor people on the streets and it'll be awesome. We have technology is going fast, and then we have inflation rising up and people struggling to get work, and United States being over flooded with migration and illegal migrants, and then we have a housing crisis due to a lot of stuff because of COVID, because they stopped building and all that kind of stuff, so they're not it's just something's gotta break, and it's gonna be me. I'm gonna lose my mind. So that's the big story of the day. Inflation went up. I think also the Donald Trump town hall last night, fantastic. I was incredibly surprised by that. And I think a lot of people were as well. He looked sharp. He did go into a little bit of the dictator stuff, but and then he pulled it back saying, we don't have time for retribution because I'm going to be so busy cutting stuff and making people's lives better. And that's fantastic. I thought he looked good. I thought the Nikki Haley, Ron DeSantis debate from what we watched last night it just felt like two kids screaming for second place. You know what I mean? Where two kids are screaming at the top of their lungs and they're just like, Dad, listen. You only listen to the guy in first place, not me. I just felt, it didn't feel like we were going anywhere, if that makes sense. But the Democrats continue to push up Nikki Haley. Again, I went online this morning, and the left loves Nikki Haley. And they're saying she's a great candidate. I don't know why the Republicans aren't picking her. She actually scares me to go against Joe Biden and all that kind of stuff. And people are starting to hear that. And people are starting to get that in their heads. It's just like if you say the same thing over and over again, you start to actually believe it. People are starting to think on the right, Nikki Haley's not that bad of a candidate. I kind of like what she says. I mean, the whole war stuff is one thing. Okay, but that Congress and the Senate, they're all gonna do war. But the other stuff's actually good. So I'd rather have her than Joe Biden. And that's just like voting for Lindsey Graham and saying I'd rather have him than a Democrat in my eyes. So that's just my thoughts. Take it with a grain of salt, as always. And the word of the day is mangle.
Mangle.
Let's hear it.
Mangle.
To mangle something is to ruin it due to carelessness or lack of skill. Mangle can also mean injure. Yeah, that's disgusting. Word of the day. Thanks for making us read that. You know what also feels mangled? The economy. Little mangled. Stock market continues to rise. Let's check the stock market right now. Oh, it's going down. Not much, though. Stock market continues to rise. Bitcoin keeps going up because that's always a good sign. Gold goes up. Silver goes up. You know, when the stock market goes up and gold and silver go up, make you wonder what the fuck is going on, bro. You know what the worst part of it is? Bill Belichick is leaving. It's just like, what is going on with the NFL? Am I supposed to just sit back and be okay with regime changes? He is the face of white supremacy in the NFL, and I need it. Where's he going to go? I don't know. I can see him doing nothing, especially with that sweatshirt. Good God. It's awesome. What a sweatshirt. Wearing that sweatshirt to a Super Bowl press conference is hotter than ever. So we have inflation, we have Donald Trump, we have people losing their jobs, we have the stock market, we have the word of the day, and we have Bill Belichick leaving. This has been a very full show. And if you're not excited about what this show is about, I don't know what to tell you. Be excited. Drop a like. Share it on all social media platforms. It helps me out. Help a brother out. I'm trying to make my way in this YouTube world. Okay. Have a great day. God, I don't know what the